Hey everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today, piece of shit, I'm gonna talk about Dead Rising 4. So I just beat it. This game is fantastic, and I was a little bummed out because I didn't really like Dead Rising 3 that much. I loved Dead Rising 1, and I liked 2. I didn't think it was as great as 1. I mean, it was obviously way more expansive, and I didn't think it was as great as 1 though. I think I just enjoyed the Frank West character a lot. So even when Off the Record came out, I was like, I didn't rush out to get it, which is too bad because I was really into Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising Case Zero, and then Dead Rising 2, and I was all hyped up for it. And I just thought Chuck Green was a fucking toolbox, and then I got my Xbox One and I got Dead Rising 3, but it just didn't feel the same to me. So when Dead Rising 4 came out, I didn't rush out to get it. And now that I played it and I beat it, upon the suggestion by Gary Morris, I am bummed out I didn't buy it when the game first came out, and I'm extremely bummed out that the studio got closed. Because I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who avoided Dead Rising 4 like I did, but it's totally worth the playthrough. I got 100 hours on it, by the way. And I don't know, they have DLC for the game, but it's not necessary. So that's one thing I truly appreciate, and it's hard to come by with Capcom, getting a complete game without the DLC, because I don't have all the DLC. I just have the Capcom Heroes, which was totally awesome, in the main game. But I had so much fun with it. I haven't had so much fun with just a zombie game in general in such a long time. I thought the story was great. You know, and if this is the last Dead Rising they're gonna make, which I think it's gonna be for a while, I think they did a great send off to the series. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I loved. Okay. There's something you have to understand about me with open world games. If it's not Fallout or it's not an Elder Scrolls, I'll play it for a ridiculous amount of hours, take a really extended break, and then I'll go back and play it. I do that with a lot of open world games. I think Spider-Man was the big exception to the rule this year of an open world game where I just plowed right through it, and I was like, all right, good. I got my one great game out of the Jesus Christ. I got the one great game of the year that was open world out of the way, and I just muscled right through it. And I did the same thing with this game. So it's very rare that I would actually do something like that. Whereas I like games that you can play within 20-minute increments. Like, that's why I play so much Mortal Kombat, because sometimes I only got 20 minutes. Well, this one, if I only had 20 minutes, I would start playing Dead Rising. I think the only reason I've actually turned on my PS4 in the last week was to watch Netflix, and that's it. So I did think that was great. It looked gorgeous with the HDR. You know, considering how much stuff is on screen at one time, the game itself looked pretty good. And like I said, I thought it was way more interesting than 3. The characters grabbed me. I think that, literally, because they were zombies. No, I think that some of the complaints that people said are actually positives to me. I liked not having a timer. And then saying not having a timer is not true. Some of the missions did have a timer, and you could fail them. I failed a couple missions because I didn't realize that you had to abide by the timer. So it was a couple of the side missions, like, go photograph this, and then this, and then this, and I didn't pay attention to the timer. I was fighting zombies, making combo weapons, and then it was like, you failed. I was like, oh shit. So I didn't like the timer in the original game. I hate escort missions in every game, and pretty much everything in Dead Rising 1 is the exception to the rule for me, because you had to escort survivors back if you wanted to, level up your game. And this one, you can save a survivor and they go off on their own and they'll be at the shelter or whatever. I did like the shelters in this one. That was another thing people complained about. I like the shelters and leveling them up. I don't know. It was a side thing that in other games I probably would have ignored, but in this one it was kind of a necessity because I loved getting all the blueprints and I loved making the combo weapons because none of them were disappointing to me. I thought they were all great and they did a fantastic job with the combo weapons. I liked the costumes. I got a bunch of the costumes. And one of the biggest complaints was not having set bosses or the psychopaths. Instead, they had maniacs and they weren't really bosses. I liked that because I feel like obviously it's a zombie outbreak. It's not realistic. But if that were to happen, I don't think they would have like significant bosses. They would have one or two like they did in this game, like with Tom, where he was clearly a psycho. And then they would have other small groups like at the gas station or at some other secure location where you had to go and fight them. And I like the struggle between the maniacs, basically the survivors that, God damn it, the survivors that went fucking crazy, and then the military. And then I like that you could actually, if you saw them clashing, you didn't even have to fight them. You could just walk right on by and then, hang out a little bit and then come and sweep up the aftermath. So I think they did a great job with it. You had a lot of freedom. You had a big map. You could go anywhere. You could do whatever you wanted because the time restrictions weren't there. So aside the fact that, like, in Dead Rising 1, some of the psychopaths were iconic, like Adam, which remakes an appearance in this game. Adam was the clown with the mini chainsaws. And, you don't really have any of that in this game. I do think Tom was, like, the good, crazy character in this. I feel like they brought it back down to a little bit of realism. And, going after the psychopaths with a timer really sucked in the first game because there was a lot of stuff that I had to play through multiple times in the first game to see that I didn't get to see on one playthrough because of the time limits. Whereas this one, you end your day when you do the mission. And then when you complete whatever of the yellow missions, you end your day. In this one, you could go investigate and you could do all these things within a case and then solve it and then move on to the next section, and then there would be more stuff. So I did like the ability to, even though I didn't 100% the game, I think I only got like 70. I didn't get to fully explore everything yet, so I have a reason to go back, and I think by the time I ended, I was level 65. So that's great. Like, I have a reason to go back to it, and it's not replaying through the whole game again, which I don't like. I was excited about it. I liked it. I like this game, and I think it's got a high replay value that you can go back and you can get everything that you missed after you clear the story out of the way. Whereas the first game kind of pushed you, and the second game kind of pushed you like, you have to do this now. We're giving you all this freedom, and you can explore in increments. Whereas this one, like I said, you can explore all the time. So I have people like my little brother telling me it's not a true Dead Rising game. I think this is the fucking truest Dead Rising game. Fight me! Thank you guys for watching.